Welcome to the Hoosier Racing League here today in the Xfinity Series cars. They are currently in their qualifying right now. They are about to be done with that here very shortly. They have under a minute left in that aspect of them racing. But you see some track facts have already been pulled up on the screen for you. 2-mile track here, 120 laps here tonight. So question is, will we see another finish like we saw last week at Daytona when it was a side-by-side finish? I think it was six thousandths of a finish between Deryk Heitman and Shane Davis in the league here. But I will take that off and have some logos rotating here up in the top right. Right now, it looks like Deryk Heitman, he is actually sitting on top of the board right now currently too. So yeah, you see he's sitting actually 11 tenths ahead of everybody else, as that was qualifying actually just finished there. So we'll pull up the qualifying results here. That will be the starting grid. So first, Deryk Heitman. Second, Riley Lambert. Third, Chris Davis. Fourth, Matthew Smith. Fifth, Jordan Stencil. Sixth, Nicholas Atwood. Seventh, John Salvatore. Eighth, Alan Martin. Ninth, Randy O'Quinn. And 10th, Ray Mallett here tonight. So small field, that's for sure. 120 laps, like I said here, for these guys. Deryk is a EPI driver. Chris is a TWR driver. So we got kind of a showdown between two different teams. They're on the same team in this league, however. Alright, we'll give them all paint refresh right now. I always do that once guys get into the session, so sponsors will be shown if they were looking. They do have sponsors or somebody watching here for them. I want to make sure that they are seen and not put behind on accident. Tell y'all what though, if you watch the race, today, I'm about tired of Kyle Larson having engine troubles. It seems like it's only 2 races in, and he lap 16, he already had an electrical problem. I mean, that's just insane. I don't know how you have that early on. It's not his fault. He just keeps getting horrible luck, it seems, from Hendrick Motorsports in that aspect. Never can get a car that doesn't have any problems. Last year, he very well could have won the championship if he didn't have those issues that he was having. The pace car is going to pull off here. 110 laps, actually went a little bit over that. Heitman lead him to green. Lambert on the outside, and green flag is in the air. We are underway here from Auto Club. So we got somebody on the very bottom of the track. That is Ray. It's not Ray Mallett. Who is that there? That actually is the 70. Who is that on the very bottom? Actually, that's the 10. That's John Salvatore. Not tucked in behind anybody. Literally on his own right now is how far he is away from everybody on that track. Probably just trying to take the shortest way around. Could work. Might not work. We'll just have to see if it will. Some things that drivers like to do are a little bit different than certain people. Heitman. This track is very draft heavy as we have the 54, and as Jordan Stencil gets into the rear end of him, he goes through the grass, saves it though, keeps it straight, but that front end is dented in a lot because of that incident there. That's going to hurt that 10, or sorry, not 10, the 83 Chevy Camaro that he's driving. Not going to want to drive the same. Keep on seeing some guys brush the wall. They're not really touching it, though. It's saying that they are hitting it, but I know that they aren't. That's going to be a big, long train of people just staying nose to tail with each other right now. Guys are not going to want to move off each other's bumper at this point. Chris Davis trying to get up to the bumper of Deryk Heitman. I think he very well may. Because if you make a move here and you don't get it, you're going to go back a lot because it's just a side draft in these cars. It's so heavy. You have to be very specific with the move that you make. You have to know that you have a big run if they get to that quarter panel or just side draft you hard enough. They'll suck you right back to them and you won't be able to do anything about it. That's one thing about tracks like this that are more draft heavy. You got to plan your moves. You can't just make a move because you feel like it. We got Chris. He's going for the lead here on Deryk Heitman. He's going to get to the inside of him, but can Deryk hold that high line? Being on this low line trying to pass her is kind of difficult because that high line gets such a big run, but he will just sail it on in there. He'll get the spot. Deryk really won't fight him for it either. The 50s of Riley Lambert's going to try to go under him. Peek just a little bit, decide he can't get his nose in there deep enough, so have to back off and replan his move here. In the real life, they have just started the Xfinity Series race. They're 21 laps into it. We see Heitman kind of blocking Lambert here, trying to keep him behind him. As Lambert's going to get to the inside of Heitman, he's going to stick it on that bottom, make it work. He'll get past Deryk Heitman here. These Xfinity cars have a little bit less downforce. They're actually, honestly, probably a little bit harder to drive, too, is what I've noticed. They do not want to stay still. They will be wiggling around the whole entire time. Cars do have the old gearbox, so that is one thing that I do like. Old style gearbox, so you have 4 gears, always using the H pattern shifter. Unlike the Gen 6s or Gen 7s where you have the sequential gear shift. One thing that I miss a lot. Lambert's going to go for the lead on Chris here. You might actually very well get it because they're side by side with each other. See what Chris will want to do if he wants to send it in there. He really won't do that, won't be too aggressive. Trying to get back in the throttle. Maybe pull a crossover on Lambert as he's going to go from the top side to the low side. Use the run off the corner. Try to get under him. He won't be able to do it, not close enough. You get to the quarter panel. He's trying to do it, but it just won't grab on. Didn't have a big enough run to make him move quite just yet. Chris is going to try to get the lead back from Lambert, but Lambert's going to have a huge run on that outside line. Probably going to hold Chris off here. He's still going to try it. Chris won't really side draft hard either. pretty much just go side by side with him. Yeah, he'll give him plenty of room. Chris will. These guys are not really being super hard racing each other. They just really care more about or just being clean so far, as Heitman's actually fallen to 4th now. But Matthew Smith, he is down pit road. Does have some right side damage on his car. So it is a factor here that he might be hitting for that early on. Not sure what their fuel load is. For sure, though. Just have to see. We almost have them 3 wide here. That's the 50, 75, and 78. Sorry, 05, 50, and 78. These guys are about to go 4 wide. I thought they were past the second, but they decided not to. As you see, Chris's number is the 78 in this race. In the car, it's the 29. Whenever I refer to one of the other numbers, just know that I'm referring to possibly the number on the car or one that is popping up on that scoreboard that you see on the left side of the screen here. Chris, he's not giving it up. He's trying to pass Lambert, but Lambert's staying tough on that high line. You can just keep on getting runs, staying up there. What that does do is really heat up that right front. That right front will not like being ran like that. You will pay for it if you're not careful. Heitman actually passes 2 of them. He goes back to 2nd. Alan Martin and Chris Davis will go side by side as Alan Martin almost clips Heitman in front of him. I thought he was going to nick him just a little bit, but he doesn't do it. I'm looking. Wait, hold on. I might have. Is that correct, or am I looking at something else here? I very well may be looking at something wrong. Sorry, I'm checking something here. Yeah, I need to look at this. Okay, I about got nervous. I was about to be like, what? Probably another league was going on that I was supposed to be doing. They freaked me out there a little bit. Ray Mallett, he is struggling. He's in the middle of nowhere. So is Stencil. Stencil has that damage, though. Randy O'Quinn, he's all the way back here. Matthew Smith has actually left the session. And this is a pretty small field, too. I mean, it's only 10 drivers, so... I mean, it's just kind of how some of these races will go. Not many people will want to join. Well, these guys are 17 laps in. We will go to a commercial break here.
couple of simulators, and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving, it feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
And we are back here. You see Chris Davis is getting to the bumper of Deryk Heitman. These guys are kind of broken away from Riley Lambert in the background there. So drivers distancing themselves from each other early on in the race here. And I do not know how long these guys can go on fuel. We'll just have to end up seeing what they can do. I think that Chris will probably stay tucked in behind Deryk Heitman for a pretty long time. I don't think he'll really stuck out behind Tim. He'll just stay in his tire tracks mostly. I think that's what he'll end up doing, hopefully. And I really don't know. I can't say what drivers are going to do, but yeah, it looks like he's pretty much just... It seems like he's fine with doing that, what it seems to be. So when these guys come down pit road, they'll need to come down pretty close behind each other if they come down any farther or any later than anybody else. It will not be a good time for them, that's for sure. It looks like everybody's pretty much just kind of spaced out with each other. Nobody's noticed the tail anymore like they were early on. Yeah, one thing I've seen is a lot of these, actually I haven't saw a lot of Ghost Energy stuff. I was going to say, I thought it was Ghost Energy, it was something else. I kind of want to see what these guys can do. They're kind of tandem drafting, not really, but Chris is able to get a little bit of a break from Deryk running right in front of him. These guys very well could stretch it out to like a 5-second lead, just riding behind each other at this point. These guys are running 43-second laps right now, so a little bit less than a minute each lap. Got Alan Martin. He's coming. Ooh, he actually about missed pit road. I think he did miss pit road. Way low on that track, so it's a very good possibility that he missed it getting down there. And if he did, might be an unsafe pit entry on his end. I'm not completely sure, though, if he missed it. It's kind of a guess right now. He's going to come down, get 4 tires. So pit stops are happening. Stencil's down. Rayla Mallet is down pit road also. So will this bring Chris and Deryk down? Yes, it will. That'll put Lambert and Salvatore to the lead. But these two come down nose to tail with each other. Or down pit road now. They can gain positions if Deryk or Chris messes up. It's like they are both pretty clean in, but Chris is more pointed towards the wall, so his exit's going to be a little bit harder because he is having to put more wheel into it to not slam the pit wall. And he's going to come out, so I think Deryk will come out a little bit further than Chris. Actually, they kind of leave basically the exact same there. See how these guys merge onto the track, but Lambert and Salvatore will both come in now. So it looks like about 27 laps on one fuel run for these guys. What they'll be able to do. Deryk actually has a little bit of a lead on Chris now because of that pit stop. Some people are more aggressive getting off the pit road, some people aren't. I'm somebody who tends to lay off more often. I don't really like being super aggressive on it. On it or off. Well, I take that back. I'm actually pretty aggressive on pit road getting on there. I get all I can, that's for sure. And I mean all I can get getting on pit road. I'm pushing that cushion. And I'm pretty much locking up tires, smoking it because I'm going to get them off anyway. So might as well just get all you can. Chris, he's actually catching Deryk here a little bit. Deryk's probably not pushing much, though, and I wouldn't blame him. There's really no need to push this. There's no need to push right now. He's kind of just riding here, more or less. So yeah, everybody's spaced out. And there's some leagues I saw have done cautions or stage breaks, but this league doesn't. That kind of a thing of the past somewhat, because most of them kind of abandoned that. Don't know why this league doesn't do it. Ghost Cup Series doesn't do it. Iron Thunder does do it, and I kind of like the stage. I kind of like the stage breaks. Now, I watched old NASCAR. That's why I say old NASCAR. When they didn't have stages. It was pretty much just drop of the green flag and go. I think stages were definitely a thing that made NASCAR more interesting because you know you're going to have cautions or you know you're going to have restarts. So I kind of think that that's something that most leagues should have. I just think it's better overall. Makes it a little bit more interesting. You bunch everybody back up and not one person's just run away with the win. Because anything can happen when you get everybody in a group. You got some guys that see somebody and they just want to go take them out sometimes. It seems like that. Yeah, well, I cannot wait to put this RAM in my PC. I'm waiting for the other 2 sticks to come in. Got G-Skill, Trident Z Neo RAM. what I have in my hand right now currently. We'll go in the cockpit of these drivers for about 2 laps here to see how these guys are driving this track. Some people will be driving it differently. Some people will be driving it pretty similar, but we will do that here. One thing you did hear is kind of those Fords have a pretty flat engine. There's not really any noise to them, which is kind of weird. I'd say. I mean, there's just no. You don't. You can't really hear the RPMs, but Deryk's gotten back around Shane. These two will probably be swapping positions for a very long time. They're going to be coming up on pit stops here soon, as we actually have Jordan Stencil. He is in right now, so he came down, and so did Ray Mallet. One of those two. One of the four, whatever I just said. Come down pit road, so pit cycles will be happening again. Probably going to be between Chris Davis and Deryk here for the win, because these guys are pretty much just running identical lap times to each other. We got a 42.93 versus a 42.92. Their fall off also isn't that much either. I believe that Jordan Stencil, he should be coming out of pit road, but we've got some guys laps down right now currently in this. Have not had the best time, and that's how some of these races go. You just seem to struggle the whole entire time. Yeah, Stencil has a pretty beat-in front end. As while we were on break, Sheldon Creed had a pretty good save into the inside wall. He did hit it a little bit, kind of buckled the rear end of the car, but the car looks almost like it did. And as the race started, you can see where it's. The best way I can describe it is, you know how normal cars work. You can kind of take. Where you can kind of pop out the fenders and stuff like that. That's what it looks like happened to his, because you can see the gap on it, but it's not dented, and it's actually pretty straight, similar to these. He just had a very good save. These guys are going to be running up on the 25 of Atwood here. Atwood will probably go a lap down, if I had to guess, because Deryk and Chris are kind of on a mission. Martin probably can't catch him either. Now, if someone were to wreck, then everything's going to change, but I really don't see anyone wrecking right now. They'll go right on by him, pretty much going to put up no fight. So Atwood, he'll go a lap down. Keep on thinking of Roman Atwood whenever I see that name. Person I used to watch when I was younger. I keep on wanting to say really young. I'm only 19, so I'm not that much of an old man yet. Where is yet? Had to see when do Deryk and Chris come down pit road. They'll probably transfer fuel to the end. They pit on lap 27. They can go to they might come in this lap very well. That's a possibility of them doing that. We'll just have to see what they want to do. If they come in this lap, that'll be an even split for them. But if they stay low in 3 and 4. They start really slowing down, that means they're coming in. I think they very well have a chance to lap the whole entire field here before this race is over. As they're supposed to stay in low. Yeah, they're both not coming to pit road. No, they are coming to pit road, so I pretty much guessed it. They stayed low in 3 and 4, so these guys will come together down pit road. Looks like Chris gets in a little bit more aggressive than Deryk. But Deryk, he will maintain the lead. As now, while we are here, I want to see what this will show for us. That does not show anything. I was just curious what this overlay would have shown to you all. But Deryk and Chris both in pretty even lead here. We have Martin coming in behind these guys. A good call from him. Don't want to be staying out longer than anybody else. That will end up pretty bad for you if you do that. They both get off. Let's see if Chris is more aggressive coming off pit road or if he lays back a little bit like he was earlier. It looks like he's not being super aggressive. Again, you do not want to come up on the track. That'll be a black flag for you. It will be a unsafe pit exit, I believe is what they will name that as. I know I've gotten a couple of those when I'm so confused. You can't even clip that white line coming off of it, but they will come out pretty much nose to tail with each other. I'm going to put John Salvatore to the lead. Riley Lambert, he is second right now, but these guys will probably cycle back out. He'll cycle back out to Deryk Heitman again, and Chris Davis will be second. Just got to wait for it to happen because it does take a while for it to cycle out because this track is pretty big. You have Atwood and O'Quinn is down right now, though, on pit road. He is off and away. So is Atwood. All right, Atwood just got down pit road. He's actually last pit stop was 25 seconds, but here comes Salvatore. So Lambert looks like he's gonna be the last one to pit. Now, if the caution were to come out, that would change everything. Of course, cautions always seem to fall at some of the worst times, though, for people in races. I've had a couple of Ryan Blaney moments where it seems like a caution comes out right before the finish of the race, and it's a "are you kidding me" moment, more or less. There goes the cycles back out. So these guys will pit at least 2 more times. They'll come down around lap 71, 72. And then we'll have to come down at least 1 more time to be able to make it to the end. They won't have enough to make it if they don't. These guys drafting it will help each other just a little bit. It doesn't look like a lot, but you cut the air behind them, you will go much faster. You can get a huge run too. If you can just time the exit of the corner correctly, that will be absolutely crucial for some of these guys. These guys are 60 laps in. We will take another commercial break though.
of simulators, and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving. It feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Some heroes walk on 4 legs. I'm Jason Johnson, founder of Project K9 Hero. Not every retired police K9 or military working dog has a home to go to in retirement. We strive to ensure no hero is left behind. We cover the medical needs of our program members after their faithful service. Our organization also provides a lifetime sanctuary for many of these heroes who may suffer from PTSD. And whenever possible, we find them a forever home. Visit ProjectK9Hero.org to learn how you can help protect those who protected us.
As we are back here at Auto Club, lap 64 of 110, only 5 drivers on the lead lap right now, and people are getting lapped relatively quickly also, so we will have to keep an eye on the left side of the screen to see if your driver does get lapped. Do expect probably at least, actually they might lap, they very well may lap the whole entire field here. These guys running nose to tail, or not nose to tail, but within 6/10 of each other, has allowed Chris and Deryk to kind of create their own little draft here. Chris can get the run off the, or really down the back stretch or the front stretch from Deryk, just staying tucked in, which always kind of ends up being a big factor, it seems, most of the time. Seems these guys, it's going to be between these two here. Now, I think what's going to really make a big difference is Chris being super aggressive getting on pit road and being aggressive getting off, because after that, they're almost dead equal. Deryk is a little bit slower than Chris right now. That being said, Chris is also getting the draft from Deryk in front of him, so he's able to not be having to run as hard. If you're that lead car, you're kind of running a little bit harder than what you would want to most of the time. As we will go to a quick commercial break here, though.
I played a couple of simulators, and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
Make you feel like you're really driving. It feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
sorry about that, y'all. We had to go right back on to one. But it's still Deryk and Chris leading the pack right now. These guys pretty much just nose to tail with each other and are not really being caught right now either, it seems. It's just a who can go and catch these two at this point. They have at least one more pit cycle here. Lap 54 is when these guys pitted last. So got about 13 more laps. So they got to come down pit road and pit again. That should get them to the end when they do that, however. But when do you come down is the better question. You don't want to do it too early. Chris could maybe short pit these guys, or short pit Deryk more than anything else. You guys will be catching the 97 of O'Quinn here. O'Quinn will go another lap down. You'll see what Deryk's gearbox sees from the rear view here, though. Kind of what Chris's nose sees. He's been trying to chase down Deryk pretty much the whole entire race, though. So they've been nose to tail with each other pretty much. It's just been who can really catch each other more often than not, it seems. And it seems to be that Deryk's just a little bit better than Shane, or sorry, not Shane, Chris, and they're just staying on each other's bumper right now. Not really moving at all. See how long these guys would want to keep riding like this. However, yeah, pit stops are happening, though. That's what I thought would end up happening. So you guys are having to come back down, get 4 tires and fuel. This will not put them to the end, though. It will be very close, however. I mean, if you saved hard, you could maybe make it, but I don't think it will work. It may work, though. I mean, it's worth a try, I guess. How gutsy do you want to be with your call here is a better question. We'll have to see when do Deryk Chris and Alan and all these other guys come down pit road with each other. They'll probably come down pretty soon, if I had to guess. Looking at Martin here. I think Martin, yeah, they're probably going to lap this whole entire field here, the way this race is going. So I kind of want to see. I mean, this may be only 2 guys on the lead lap. How this is running so far, and that would actually be kind of cool to see. To be honest with you, I've only been able to lap the field probably about twice in my iRacing career. And even then, it was pretty difficult. It wasn't too easy, that's for sure. It's pretty hard doing that because you got to pass everybody. I think it was at Richmond that I was able to do it. Do not know how, but I did it. Guys are currently, their fall off too, I've noticed, has not been as high as other people's the whole entire time either. These guys will come down probably. You could run it. You could run it dry and actually make it to the end on this last tank of fuel. You got to run it completely dry though. Maybe even let off a little bit. Because if you don't start letting off, you're going to be in a difficult position. It is possible. I just don't know how gutsy these guys are going to be with it. Are just going to tuck in behind each other, though. That's not a bad thing to do. Deryk is not coming to pit road. He's trying to get down past the 10. No, they are coming to pit road, so they are on the edge of making it here. I mean, they are. Ooh, Chris got in there pretty aggressive, too. He actually got almost right up to the bumper of Deryk Heitman. That might actually give him a pretty good shot at passing Deryk. He also could just be staying behind Deryk just to play with him. Maybe toy with him a little bit, knowing that I haven't gotten off your bumper the whole entire night. So I'm going to be here at the end of the race also, is what he could be doing very well. A very big possibility. Two are off and away. Chris is gonna, he actually might pass Deryk getting back on the track. He will not do it though. Decides to kind of tuck in behind him. I thought he was gonna try to pass him there. I really did think he was gonna try to pass him. He decided against it though. If I was him, I probably would have actually maybe passed him. Salvatore, he will need to come down behind him, but he pit on lap 56, so you're not stretching that fuel 50 laps. I mean, you can't even do that in the A Open at 100% fuel load. It's impossible to do that unless you literally run half throttle the whole entire race, as Chris will get right up on the bumper of Deryk here. Try to rattle his cage. I just wanted to rattle his cage. I swear that's all I wanted to do to him. I didn't want to spin him, as what Dale Earnhardt Sr. would say. He said that at Bristol after he spun Terry Labonte coming off the corner. I will tell y'all what, Dale Earnhardt Sr. was kind of a dirty driver in my opinion. Kind of somebody, if I can't get past you, I'm just going to wreck you. Never did understand that when I was watching clips. I wasn't alive when he was racing, though. I was not even born. I was born in 2003. I'm a young kid, very young kid. Salvatore, that might be out of fuel here. Thought he was out of fuel. I really did think he was out of fuel there for half a second. He's not, though. Very lucky for him. We got somebody on the apron. Who is that? Before we had somebody else on the apron. But so Lambert has to come pit. Stencil has to pit also. Stencil has had he's had an eventful night. Pretty rough night at that, too. We might as well say that. He is got a smashed in front end, so it's not really looking very well for him. You just kind of have these races where it seems like nothing wants to go right for you. This is what he's having so far. Jordan Stencil is a familiar name to me. I believe he ran in the Twisted Chassis Truck Series at one point that I used to broadcast. Which is now broadcasted by Rice Motorsports instead of me. I think. I'm pretty sure. That's what I saw at one point. Yeah, Salvatore and Lambert are in now, so these guys have to come down pit road. So, this is going to be close. I mean, Chris and Deryk are going to be awfully close on fuel. I don't know if they can make it. It's going to be very close. They put it on lap 57 and came down on lap 81. They went 24 laps. Yeah, I don't know if they can make it on fuel. It's going to be close. These guys, one little trick you can do is you can kind of clutch in the corner, maybe start running half throttle also. That's a pretty viable option to do. Somebody blinking out, that is Stencil on the bottom line there. He is magically back and he is gone again. For him, it seems. Trying to. So, them catching these guys is going to help them, though. They could very well just stay tucked in behind Stencil and Martin and run a little bit half throttle here. That's an option these guys can make, and if I was them, I would almost take that too if it was a possibility. They're just gonna go right on by Stencil. Chris will follow up behind Heitman. Guess he just passes him. Coming inside of 20 laps to go, however. So these guys will start to maybe pick up the pace a little bit. As I say, pick up the pace probably would be Chris. Where is Alan at? Alan Martin, he will get lapped. So they have lapped literally the whole entire field. Chris and Deryk Heitman have lapped everybody on the track. That is, I think we saw us last weekend too, where they lapped everybody in the race. So, Chris, right here, he could have... it's going to be close on fuel. It's going to be very, very close. They're running, right now, they're currently running 42s. So, they're not running as fast as what they did when they first got in there, I think. They're definitely probably saving just a little bit. You don't have to save a lot if you're as close as these two are. Stencil's disappearing. He keeps reappearing. Keep on wondering where he went half the time, and he pops up every now and then. I'm like, wait, there he is. As they all go, now they're back on the track. That's weird. We can still see Martin there in the background. Martin's been hitting the wall. He's been touching the wall, but he actually hasn't been hitting it at all. So he's going to hurt Chris going side by side with Stencil, but he will get past him pretty quickly. As real world update, I believe it is Justin Allgaier. No. Josh Berry, who's leading the race currently right now. Sammy Smith is second. Austin Hill looks like he's fourth. And in real life, it was Kyle Busch who won at Fontana, his second race with RCR, or second official race with RCR. I don't count the duels or the Coliseum as an official race. He won only in his second start with RCR and a Chevy Camaro. He took over the number 8 for Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick then went to 23-11 and took the 45 as Kurt Busch was not racing this season. I think he's actually, I think he officially retired too. It was a driver swap pretty much. A Toyota driver went to Chevy, a Chevy driver went to a Toyota. Do want to see if Chris can get to the bumper of Deryk. I don't think he'll move him, but I think he'll try to just take some air off him more or less, and that's probably the only option that he's going to have too. And that's probably his best one overall. Also to make. I don't really think he can do much after that though. So coming in 15 to go. They are 4 wide at Auto Club. Looks like shortly after this race, though, you all will have some more radioactive from Auto Club and for the Ghost Cup Series, as Trey Whitehead has just finished that file. He just texted me that on Discord. So 15 laps left. Chris actually passed Deryk there. Deryk, he's coming down pit road for more fuel. So does Chris come down and top off? I mean, he's going to be running super hard. And do you take tires here, or is it fuel only for Deryk? Going to see what move he makes. Had to guess it's just going to be enough fuel to get him to the end. You don't need to fill up that tank full quite just yet. What will he do here? Come down to his pit stall. Stop there, and he will take tires here. Now, will Chris come down shortly after Deryk, or is he going to try to stretch it? As it is 4 tires for Heitman. He is off and away, 4 tires and fuel. Probably filled up his tank. Now, will Chris Davis try to stretch it to the end? He will lap Deryk, so he can really start laying off from this point on. Will not have to run hard, and I think he's realized that now too. He slowed down to about 170-ish on his pace, not going as fast as what he was. Doesn't have to run fast either. He just needs to watch that fuel gauge. As he's staying low, he might be coming this time. No, he's going to stay out. So 12 laps. Can Chris Davis stretch it to the end? He'll be going close to 30 laps on his fuel here. They'll have to stretch it about 4 more laps than what they had normally been doing. It's the question of, can they do it? Do you want to try to do it? Deryk Heitman will get behind him. He will go right around Chris Davis. This wins Chris the race. I know he's going to be pretty happy with it. If he loses the race because of this, he's going to be pretty upset with himself, but he can really lay off now. He doesn't have to push at all. He doesn't have to push hard. I actually want to see what he's running right now in his cockpit. Looks like, I mean, he's still running pretty much similar. Now, one thing you got to keep in mind, though, is Chris was tucked in behind Deryk the whole entire time. So he was saving a little bit of fuel while he was riding like that. He wasn't running full throttle because Deryk was pulling him with him. So this is maybe Chris Davis's race here he can take home, because Deryk has to go around the track the whole entire... Well, he has to catch... Chris again. So this may be Chris Davis's race to win. And Deryk might be kicking himself a little bit for leading, but you can't really plan for some things that happen. I don't think he would have been able to save enough anyway if he would have tucked back in behind Chris. I think it would have been too late for him to do anything about it. I'm sorry we had to go on 2 back-to-back commercial breaks. Had to edit something for the stream. Look, I normally don't. That's normally a pretty rare occurrence for me, but I had to fix something. But 9 laps left in the race. Heitman. He's got to go catch Chris again. He wants to try to fight for the win. Chris is going to be close on his fuel, very close, and it might start stumbling with about 4 to go. It's just how much did he save is the question. How much did he truly save riding behind Deryk for that long? 'Cause nobody really knows. Only he knows. And even then, your spotter, your crew chief is not going to be completely correct, because he's having to now factor in you running full speed alone by yourself. And that's going to take some fuel down and go off of it. Looks like in real life somebody just got turned. Also broke the splitter off their Chevy Camaro. Brandon Jones that got turned. Deryk, he's not going to catch Chris. Chris can lay off a lot. I mean, he can truly lay off a lot. He's running 43-second lap times. He can lay off even more if he wanted to. And if I was him, I'd be doing that. I'd be laying off as much as possible. You can run 3 seconds slower, and Deryk's not going to catch you. Now, I would have been doing this for a long time. If it gets within 15, then I'll start picking up the pace again. But, I mean, he can run so much slower than Chris right now. Or, sorry, than Deryk right now. It's not even funny. What do you do? Can Chris stretch his fuel? Can he stretch it? As that is I think he's redesigned that rear bumper on this car. Go from a chase view here. Now, I thought he had something else on there. I'm completely wrong on that. That's my fault. It's going to be 4 to go at the line for Chris Davis here in the Hoosier Racing League. Can Chris stretch it? Can he really stretch his fuel as long as he needs to? I mean, he's got a huge lead on Deryk, and I think Chris is going to be able to do it. Being tucked in behind Deryk is going to give him the extra laps of fuel that he needs. I think Deryk is gambling that Chris is going to run out, though, and I just don't know if it's going to happen. Is the thing. Two laps to go for Chris Davis. Can he stretch his fuel long enough to win the race? And I think he has it. He might have it locked down here. It's going to be awfully close for him. As Ray Mallett, he's went off track. He came back on track, though. Oh, no, it's better than bringing a caution. This is off the racing surface. This is not what Chris wants to see, and Ray toes. You want to go back and watch and see what happened here very quickly. Looks like something just happens to him there. Must have had a screen go blank, but Chris Davis, as he continues to lead, he's got one more time around. He can run super easy now if he's so close on fuel. White flag will be in the air here for Chris Davis. Was behind Heitman the whole entire time. Had to fight behind him. Tucked in behind the draft, and he might have saved enough fuel to win the race, and it's looking like he has. He's still under power, too. Just can he limp it home? He can pretty much coast from here. He's got a 30-second lead. Deryk Heitman, he will not catch him. He will go into 3, and he will come out of 4 here. And it will be Chris Davis who will be the winner here in the Hoosier Racing League. Here, Heitman will come second as the whole field was almost lapped. Looked like Salvatore. He will come home third. Got to wait for these guys to cross the finish line. though for some of them, but that was a interesting race. I didn't expect almost everybody to get lapped, that's for sure. We'll watch Chris burn it down here. Watch him burn it down. Looks like he is going to be done with his burnout there. Pull up the race results, however. For you all, we will get the top 3 drivers interviewed here. Let me grab John Salvatore, the other guys, and put them in a room. Hey, John, this is Bryson Booth. Got a copy, man?
Yep, I got you.
Man, so you finished 3rd here tonight. You know, how did the race go for you from the drop of the green flag to the checkered, man?
Not too bad, to be honest. Last time I did iRacing was September, so I've taken a break for a while. So I kind of hopped on today, got all my stuff going, and my goal was just not to crash and, you know, run pretty decent. And I didn't expect a 3rd out of it, but, you know, Riley gave me some good pit strategy, you know, kind of starting the back, picked up a few guys, you know, tried to pit the best I could, and somehow ended up with a 3rd. So I'll take it for my first time out this season.
Yes, I mean, sometimes you'll surprise yourself after you haven't raced for a while, but it seems like you did pretty good. You know, was there anything that you felt like you could have done different here? Or was it pretty much just trying to get back in the rhythm? Do you feel like there's anything that you could have done to win the race here? Or is it pretty much just trying to get back into it?
Yeah, just trying to get back into it, you know, just getting more comfortable. I screwed up my first pit stop. Price killed me 7 laps, but I was definitely not on the same level as, you know, 1st and 2nd. So hopefully, you know, keep doing this every week and get faster.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Thanks for Riley to get me back into this. We'll do Neri Excavating and Salvatore Automotive that's on the race car.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go. Good 3rd place finish tonight, though, man.
All right, thanks. And yeah, good finish for the Crow team.
As that was John Salvatore, the 2nd place driver. 3rd place. We'll bring in the 2nd place driver in Deryk Heitman. Hey, Deryk, this is Bryson Booth. Got a copy, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Man, so you come home 2nd, fall just a little bit short. You know, were you going to be short on fuel leading there, or were you just hoping that you would have caught Chris in time?
I was just personally hoping that Chris wasn't saving, but because you know I definitely didn't see that coming. He was holding pace with me the entire time, so that was definitely a nice surprise.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I know that he actually pretty much stretched that fuel pretty far. Y'all were making about 27, 28 laps, and I didn't think he was going to be able to save that much, but I guess him tucking in behind you did something for him. I really didn't think that either. But, you know, do you feel like because you and Chris were pretty evenly matched the whole entire night, do you feel like if you both had, you know, fuel to the end, that it would have been between you two that for the race win?
I feel like if iRacing's draft wasn't broken, that would have been a way different story. Because I mean, you know, he's one of my teammates. I mean, really, the only reason he was able to keep with me at all was because of the draft, and the draft was the only reason why he was able to save fuel. So, if the draft wasn't broken, I probably would have sailed off into the sunset, and he still could have saved and maybe, you know, not had that extra pit stop, but I probably would have had a better shot if I had had a gap to him behind me when all those pit cycles were happening.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Shout out Michael Conti over at EPI. He's a great driver coach, does a great job of, teaching me everything that I know. Obviously except fuel saving, but I mean, that's just a mental thing you got to learn on your own. Shout out EPI as well for doing amazing race setups. If anyone, watching the broadcast gets into open racing, they are definitely the place to go to get you fixed up at raceepi.com.
All right, man. I'll let you go. Good second place finish tonight, though, man.
Hey, thank you.
That was Deryk Heitman, the second place driver. We will bring in the race winner and Chris Davis now. Hey, Chris, this is Bryce in the booth. Got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Man, so you come home with the win tonight. You stressed the fuel. Now, how close were you on fuel when you crossed the start-finish line for the checkered flag?
I had exactly 1 lap left to go whenever I crossed the start-finish line. I ran out doing burnouts.
I was going to say, because I knew it was close on fuel, but, do you feel like, being behind Deryk actually helped you save fuel? Because it seems like him running in front of you, he was going to run out, and I think that made a big difference. But did you feel like that was probably the deciding factor, was you just staying behind Deryk there?
Yeah, that was the key thing to the race. I took the lead early a few different times and would drop back behind him, save a little bit of fuel, and was just kind of calculating it. And then when we come out on that last pit stop, I started just clutching it. The draft plays such a key factor here, so I was able to suck back up down the straightaways, and I never let him in on what I was doing, and kept letting him run hard. I thought when we caught some of that lap traffic, he was going to get away from me, and I'd burn a little bit more fuel. But yeah, that was about the only way I was going to beat him. He's such a great driver on saving tires and being good here, so that was my only chance.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, I got to shout out TWRS, Team Watson Racing Setups. They've the whole team there's helped me grow as a driver, and that's the only way I was even able to keep up with Deryk there. Special thanks to Jeff Carson. Ran with him at the beginning of the week in the Xfinity car just to get a little bit more practice, and he gave me some pointers that really helped out.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go. Good win here tonight. Go celebrate it, man.
I appreciate it.
As that was Chris Davis, the race winner. I will go over the finishing order here now. Chris Davis first, Deryk Heitman second, John Salvatore third, Riley Lambert fourth, Alan Martin fifth, sixth, Jordan Stencil seventh, Nicholas Atwood eighth, Randy O'Quinn ninth, Ray Millette, and 10th was Matthew Smith, who actually disconnected early in the race. But not a bad race overall. I did not expect almost the whole field to get lap, that's for sure. But that was a fuel mileage race win by Chris Davis there. So that was definitely close. I didn't know if he was going to make it, that is for sure. But if y'all did enjoy the stream, if you don't mind subscribing to Ghost Racing Network, anything that you all do will help us grow a ton. But I have some homework to do, so I will let you all go.